Suzanne A. Wells, and welcome back to another eBay seller success story. We have Connie with us today, who is a frequent poster on my Money Making Mondays with some incredible sales and really interesting items. So say hi, Connie.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, we're going to just jump right in and go through some questions here. And I wanted to have you on because you kind of specialize in things that are a little bit unusual, a little bit quirky, kitschy. You know, it's not the run-of-the-mill stuff. So I think that you can help a lot of people understand more things to sell and inspire them to get out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us where you live and where you're from.
I live in Canandaigua, New York, which is a small town in the Finger Lakes. Beautiful area in Western New York, area below Rochester, east of Buffalo and west of Syracuse. And it's a nice vacation area too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get some cold winters up there.
Oh yes, very cold. Mm-hmm.
Does that affect your sourcing?
I try not to let it. I enjoy auctions, rummage sales, that kind of things. The rummage sales are seasonal. Salvation Army and Goodwill are always there. But yeah, I always go out sourcing, even if I need to wear my heavy coat.
Okay, so you've been in New York a while then. Are you
all
native?
my life? Yeah.
Okay. So that's the cold is nothing to you. You just deal with it.
Well, yeah. I'm getting older, so it does bother me, but I still ignore it as much as possible.
Okay, and your eBay store name is?
Mama Moose 102.
Okay, and her link is below the video if you want to check that out, so you can see what she sells. And so tell us how long you've been selling on eBay. What brought you to eBay in the first place?
Well, my husband had been selling car parts type stuff now and then, and I came across some neat things at auctions that we were just going to the auctions for fun, but these neat things I didn't collect or really need in my house. So I thought, I'll see if it'll go on eBay. And I was selling on my husband's page for a little while, and then decided to get serious and went to my own page, Mama Moose. And his page was Moose, so mine was Mama.
Oh, okay. How long ago was that you started?
I think 2009, 2007, right around there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've had a good decade of working at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, is eBay your only income? Do you have another job too?
No, eBay is my only income. I started, I'm totally legit for New York State with collecting sales tax in New York State, all that type of thing. And I wanted to keep on building, making more listings, making more money the same time. Right now, I'm kind of on hold with building. My mom moved in with us a few months ago, and is pretty independent, but not totally. So I have not gotten back into my listing groove yet, but I expect I will through the winter.
Okay, so you're kind of that sandwich generation now where you're taking care of the aging parent, but
exactly.
your kids are grown and gone.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Now, what about your husband? Does he work? Is he employed?
He is retired now. He retired about a year ago. Mm-hmm.
So you are the retired baby boomer couple that is selling on eBay for extra money and fun.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you rely on that eBay money for anything, or is it just purely extra?
I rely on that eBay money for my own personal self-esteem, you might say, that I am giving something to my household above and beyond my husband's pension. I know that is partly because of me as well, but this is only because of me, and I'm very proud of my work on eBay.
Great. Yep, absolutely. And I'm a big supporter of especially women having something of their own, whether
Yes.
you are a mom of little kids, they're in high school, or you're an empty nester. Don't forget about yourself. You need to have something of your own that's stimulating and interesting and that helps you grow as a person. I just think that's really important. So I love to see these ladies like you, of any, any age group, that their life just doesn't just revolve around everybody else. You've got your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you seem to have a great time with it.
I do enjoy it very much. I enjoy everything about it. The buying it, of course, the sourcing is always fun. I love the researching. I love the selling. I love the packaging. My pictures are good, I think. I enjoy taking good photos and describing my items. I enjoy getting good feedback. I just love all of it right from start to finish.
And that's wonderful. I can tell that you love the business because of how your listings look, and that you're a frequent poster on the Money Making Mondays. You're right in there with everybody. Here's what I sold, and you have a great time with it. So how long have you and your husband been retired?
Just a year and a half now, Don's retired.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's kind of a new phase for you, a new chapter in your life.
Exactly. Mhm.
That's wonderful. I love to see the baby boomer generation is changing what retirement looks like. It's
Mhm.
not just sitting around knitting. I mean, if you want to, that's great, but it's not like Grandma Walton sitting around just doing nothing. You've got
Mhm.
interesting things to do, and I think that's wonderful.
Oh, totally. We're more busy than ever.
And of course, you're old if you know who Grandma Walton is.
Yeah, and I do.
Well, like, to the viewers watching, we'll have some people who are like, who is she talking about? I better go Google that.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Google that.
right. Okay. So one of my standard questions is, has something changed in your life that pushed you to grow your eBay business? And
Mm.
so can you talk about
Well, in
that?
my instance, something has happened to make me stall my eBay business, you might say, with my mom moving in. That basically eBay came to a halt in the middle of May, with needs for my mom. But now I'm starting to get back into it. Of course, through it all, I never stopped eBay. I was still selling things. I simply was not listing new items. So my numbers have gone down, of course, but I'm still getting back into it. I took a batch of photos yesterday. I'll take another batch hopefully this afternoon, and onward and upward. I'll do what I can as I can.
That's the flexibility of eBay, is you can step away from it when you have a life crisis, or just a life change where you have to deal with things. It's not like a part-time job where you have to get permission and you have to change your schedule and you might have to quit.
Right.
You can just put everything aside. You've got stuff listed that's selling that you can ship. You're still making money, and then you can pick it back up when you get reorganized. So
Exactly.
good for you. Now let's go to the big question here. What kind of items do you sell?
Oh, I sell anything that isn't nailed down pretty much. Right now, I'm packaging a cast iron Japanese lantern pagoda, kind of a yard decoration thing that's 11 pounds as it is. And with all the wrap, I'm going to have to package that thing very carefully. It's going to be at least 13 pounds by the time I get it finished. But that might go for a couple $100. Um, Early on, an interesting item I found at an auction was, I didn't know what it was when I picked it up. I just knew it was weird. A set of teeth in a box, like a presentation box.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know if they were real or not, but research told me they were a dental school teaching aid, fake teeth, wax teeth, very old. And they sold, let me see, they sold for $84. And this was back in 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. I sold a Smith Corona typewriter early on, before a lot of people recognized that these old typewriters are cool. But I sold mine to I bought it for $5. I sold it to a professor at NYU for $100. And she wanted to use it in her classes so that her students could experience the idea of having a thought and taking time putting it on paper instead of the instant moment of the text.
Very interesting. So those teeth, how much did you pay for those?
$5 or less. I don't pay a lot for much of anything because I'm never 100% sure, and my money's hard to come by, so I don't want to spend it willy-nilly.
I noticed you post things like interesting doilies and linen type items sometimes. You've had some good sales with those.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't think of that right off the top of my head.
That's okay.
One linen I can think of that I did sell recently was a Sesame Street. Well, I don't think it was recently. It was a few years ago. A Sesame Street baby blanket that was like a thermal knit with a satiny binding around the edge. I had no idea. I picked it up at a rummage sale for $1 or $2, thinking maybe my grandchild would like it. They're not crazy about Sesame Street, so I put it on eBay. Well, the lady who got it paid $148 for it. This was a baby blanket, and it wasn't perfect, but she recognized that too. But this was her baby blanket when she was a baby. And she wanted it for her baby, and she was willing to fight against some other buyer to get it. So I ended up, it could have gone for $20, but she wanted it enough to bid against someone else for it. So that was in the heyday of auctions. Nowadays, I might have put that on as a buy it now, but
right, yeah, that's definitely changed. I mean, people still run auctions and they can still work, but with best offer, it's kind of like, well, just price it high and put it out there and let the buyers tell you what they think it's worth.
Right.
You can always come down on your price, but you don't want to kick yourself for starting your auction too low. But you just can't know. It's not a science. It's just see what happens.
Yeah.
But you do sell clothing, new and vintage, anything vintage or kitsch, and crafts, plush, and puzzles, which is a lot of women just focus on clothes and they don't really go too deep into I call it the junk in the back kind of stuff. So tell us about your love of puzzles, because you actually put them together.
Yes, always. And that annoys me when I see things for sale on eBay that they just show the box and the pieces in the box. Who's going to buy a puzzle if they don't know if it's all there? But that's just me. So I put it together. I photograph it on the table, all put together, and then get it listed. But my buyers always know they're going to get every piece, because sometimes a puzzle will say 1,000 pieces. And even if you count 1,000 pieces, it might have 1,005 actually. So you won't know if it's missing a piece or two.
I bought them brand new to work, like with my kids when they were younger, and it's had pieces missing brand new.
Yeah.
You never know. And we would glue them together and put them on the wall. Every summer we would do so many big puzzles, because it's like, when your kid says, I'm bored, you better not say that at my house, because I'm going to give you something to do.
Right.
But you're right. Now, I have heard that for puzzles, sometimes it doesn't matter, because a lot of times they're used for occupational therapy or in nursing homes or that kind of thing. And it's just an activity where it's a brain stimulating thing. I think for dementia and Alzheimer's, they have the patients work puzzles. So it may not really have to be 100% complete for sellers listening that, think that you have to have every single piece. But I commend you for taking the time to put it all together and take a picture of it. I think that's great.
Thank you. Mhm.
Now, what about craft stuff? Do you have a history with crafting so you know what these things are?
Well, I do. I've always enjoyed crafting and I've dabbled in a little bit of everything. I've never figured out crochet, but I understand what it's all about. I figured out knitting. I have done that. Sewing. I do a lot of sewing. Um, you'd be surprised the things that you find in a box in a rummage sale for buy the whole box for 25 cents or whatever. Doll making parts or sewing bindings and oddball little things that people who sew would need. And the vintage stuff is just gorgeous. Um, and if you put together a big batch of this sewing junk, it will sell. It will always sell. The doll heads and things, I've had some that have sat for a while before they sold, but they sell. They always sell. Um, Porcelain doll heads or the plastic rubbery kind of heads, they all sell. Hmm.
That's
And the plush
fantastic.
too, as long as you find a good name on the plush, that will probably sell. You have to be thoughtful about the quality of the plush and the cleanliness of it. No odors, that kind of thing. But these things will sell. Mhm.
Can you think of any big plush sales that you've had? Just to give examples for people watching, like what you could get for it.
I had a very old Winnie the Pooh plush that it was not in great shape, but I just knew it's super old, so it must be someone will want this. So I picked that up. I probably sold that for 25 or so. Not a huge sale, but it went to someone who will give us some love again. So that was good. Another item of plush that I always pick up are the baby blanket loveys.
Hmm.
It's like a plush head attached to a blanket with a satiny binding. And those can go quite high if they're the really big names. But even if they don't go high, they can usually be shipped for first class shipping, which is the least expensive. So even if you only make $5 on it, it's still worth your time to photograph it and get it listed and get it out the door.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, I have a video about selling loveys and how much they can go for. But it's that one child that lost his, or they threw out the car window on the highway, or whatever happens to him, um, that needs to be replaced. And it's not just the money you make, but it's like, okay, you solved a problem for that parent. Get replacing that lovey, because sometimes that's all it takes to calm that kid down. It's worth
Yes.
it.
And the only thing.
Right, exactly. Now, how many things do you have for sale in your store? How many do you average?
Right now, about 440 something, 447, I think. Hmm.
But you said you're a little behind because of your mom coming
Hmm.
to live with
Yeah.
you. What do you try to keep your inventory around?
I did have it up to, and it's always been building. So I won't say I wanted it to go up higher, but it was up to 475
Okay,
in the spring.
so
And
not thousands and thousands of items. You do pretty well with under 500 items.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know how I would personally do a lot more than 500, but that for me, that works. That's a good number for me. Mhm.
Now, what is your profit per month?
I have that written down here.
Yes, you do. You are very good sending all your information in. That's
Oh,
what people want
yeah.
to know, is like, how many items, how much can I make? What do I sell? Where do I get it? How long is it going to take? Some of these things we can answer, and it varies by seller. So, I mean, you really have to develop your own way, but I do like to give the numbers so people will know what's possible, because you're already doing it.
Yes. And I sell right now, it's about $120 a week. And that's even with my slowdown right now, which
Mhm.
surprises me as well, that I've managed to, even though I'm not listing as much, I'm selling, getting out of the house $120 a week in sales. Um, the last 30 days, it was over $952 in sales. Now that's gross sale,
Okay.
but the
Okay.
120 a week is net. That's just what I'm making on profit. Um,
And those numbers by, YouTube standards may be like, so what, but here's the thing, guys. Um, she's retired. She and her husband are retired. They're doing whatever they want every day. This
Mhm.
is extra fun on the side stuff, something that she's doing to bring in money. And her goal is not to have thousands of items in a warehouse and employees and have this big business. It's what is manageable and what is fun for you. So you're probably, $500 a month maybe profit when you're rolling along at a
Yes.
good rate,
Mhm.
which is $6,000 a year, which is a nice little extra income
It
that pays
is.
for a lot of things. So I think there's too much on the internet focused on, if you do eBay, it's got to be huge and big and you've got to sell thousands of things and you've got to list hundreds of things a day. And it's like, no, it's whatever works for you that you want to do. It's available and you just use the resources around you to make money and enjoy it.
Yes. I feel badly, well, not feel badly, but I want to give a hug to those posters on your group, Stay-at-Home Moms, who say, well, I've got everything kind of ready, but I'm just not sure if I'm really going to make money. Just do it. Just do it. Post 5 items in the next week and see how it goes. Maybe, maybe you'll sell 2 items and that will be great. But just make the jump and do it because it will be fun and you will sell a few things, definitely.
Well, and there are people who use eBay just for their car payment or just
Mhm.
to make a few $100s a month and they save it up over a year so they can take their kids to Disney or um, saving for the kids college or whatever it is that you're doing with it. I hate to see people feel so defeated before they even start because they think they can't do it at this high level.
Mhm.
And it's just not necessary. If you've come this far and you're watching this video and you have not done anything, just do it. Don't wait. Don't wait to get everything perfect because you will never start. It's like the
Mhm.
person who gets the gym membership and they get the outfit and the shoes and the water bottle and
I did that.
they never go because they think they're not perfect like everyone else. And it's like that's never going to happen. Just jump in and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Very good.
Okay, so you said, let me go through my list here. Let's talk a little bit more about your sourcing. Do you have a schedule or is it just kind of whatever you feel like doing since you're retired and you can do whatever you want?
Well, I was early on going to auctions quite a bit and picking up a lot of stuff there. Not so much anymore. Now my favorites are rummage sales. So I do get those on my calendar when I see them advertised. Salvation Army and Goodwill are when I'm in the neighborhood, when I feel like it. And now too, I have 2 big rooms upstairs that are full of inventory. I have a 3rd room that's dedicated to photography. That's just my backdrop and my lights and all that. Um, we live in a big old farmhouse, so we can do that now that the kids are gone. Um, but I don't do as much sourcing as I used to, but those are my favorites, the rummage sales and the Goodwill and Salvation Army right now.
So when you say rummage sale, are you talking about church sales?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, okay, it's just a terminology. Down south, we just call them a church yard sale, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, those are great because um, those people just price it. They're just like, oh, just put $1 on that, just put 50 cents. And
Exactly.
they don't really care. They're not out to make the big buck. They're
Right.
out to do their community event that they do every year. And it's a big event and they're making hot dogs and they have a bake sale and they have all the stuff going there and they have the guys driving you around in the golf cart if you have to park far away and they make it an event down here.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but they just they don't price to make a lot of money. Now I have seen a few of them that have like a little, maybe a boutique room where they've got really expensive Christmas ornaments and jewelry and stuff like that. But for the most part, you can just get the stuff so cheap.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I love it that the bag sale the last day. I find some great buys even then on the last day. So always enjoy the rummage sales. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun.
Mhm.
So you're just kind of all over the place getting stuff where you can get it.
Mhm.
Now, what is your professional background?
I actually have a Bachelor of Arts in music education and a Master in Science in elementary education, which I went back for after the kids were grown pretty much. And then, as it turns out, I never did much teaching through the years. And then once I had my master's, I never could find the right job and at the right time. So at that point, health issues started cropping up. A normal 9 to 5 job was never the right thing for me. So in terms of my comfort level, eBay is the perfect solution. Because I list things when I can and I source when I can. And the only thing that's on a time crunch is slapping the label on it. Um, and even that, I do all my packaging before my item is listed so that when something sells, all I have to do is grab that off the shelf and it's out the door that quickly. Mhm.
That's very efficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are with another eBay seller with a master's degree that I just love this because for so many years, when I started out, I got so much flack from people. Why are you doing this? Why don't you get a real job? And it's like, well, I've been downsized out of 3 real jobs and I don't want to do that anymore.
No.
And oh, this is all she can do. Poor Suzanne, that's all she can do is sell used shoes online. That's really sad. And it's like, no, I'm choosing this. This is a freedom. And
Mhm.
there was this whole mindset stereotype of an eBay seller in the early days of like, well, yeah, that's sad, that's all they can do. And it's like, no. But it does take some level of intellect to be able to put all this together, because eBay has so many moving parts that you have to learn. um,
Yes.
so I love to see people like you that have this advanced degree, and you're using it for eBay, and you've got this great business,
Mhm.
and good for you. And the other part
Thank you.
was your health issues.
Mhm.
That's eBay is wonderful for that, because you can work when you want and take a break when you want. You can go to your doctor's appointments and or therapy or whatever you're doing, and just work eBay around it. You can just back
Mhm.
and forth with it all day. Is that how it is for you?
Yes, exactly. There are days when I don't want to do anything and I don't have to. And then there are days that I can really push and get a lot of photography done, get a lot of listing done, and that's great too. Uh, but
Yeah.
it's all
So
on my terms.
when you feel good, you can do a lot, but
Yes.
you don't have to worry about, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to call in sick because today's gonna be a bad day. And I suffered from migraines for years, and it was just ruins your day because you can't do
Mm. Oh,
anything.
totally. Yes.
It's not just like, oh, I have a headache. It's like, I think my head might explode.
Mhm. Mhm.
Am I having a stroke? What is this?
Yeah.
So that was another reason I liked doing eBay as a stay-at-home mom, was I'm there for my kids, but then if I have one of these migraine days, I can just do what I can do around feeling bad. And then, sometimes I'd feel better in the evening, and then I'd stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning, catching up on what I didn't get done. So it's so flexible when you have something like that you're dealing with, that
Mm.
you can still make a living and not have to be on your game 9 to 5 every day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Um, okay. So you do a lot with your grandchildren.
Oh, yes. Yes, we've been accused of that.
So do they live nearby?
They live probably 10 miles away. 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren. And we do enjoy enjoy hanging out with them quite a bit. We've been camping once this summer. We're hoping to go camping again before school gets into too much full swing. But yeah, we see them often. And this afternoon, I'm going to take one granddaughter to a doctor's appointment because her mom's working. That too, I couldn't do that if I had a normal job. That's another real plus for eBay.
And you don't have to ask anybody. That was the most
Right.
humiliating
Exactly.
part of working in corporate America is like, I have a dentist appointment, or I need to leave, or my kid is sick, I gotta go get her. And having to grovel to your boss and just be humiliated and have to ask permission to leave and do what you need to do. And this way, you know what? You just do what you need to do. You don't have to ask anybody.
Exactly. Yep.
And how old are your grandkids?
Oh, 9 months is the youngest and 14 is the oldest.
And sometimes they help you with your eBay, you said.
Oh, yes. I ask them to do my inventory for me. So they come over, they spend a full day going through and cataloging everything. I keep a little tab on each package saying what's inside. And each location is labeled A1, B2, that kind of thing. So I know exactly where to go when something sells. And so they do that inventory for me, and I give them a little spending money, and I get to know my inventory is right where I said it was. I always find a few things that eBay has somehow, I don't want to blame eBay, but somehow a few things are not listed anymore that I thought were listed. Yeah.
That's the mystery of the disappearing listing. That's a thing that's always happened ever since I've been selling, and it just drops off. And it's not, is it good till canceled? Is it 30 days? It just disappears. And where did it go? And it's like, why isn't this listed anymore?
Yeah.
That's some kind of glitch that happens. So it's great that you take inventory so that you can be on top of things that drop off and get them relisted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said you have some rooms full of stuff that's not listed. How many things are in your death pile?
Oh, it's a lot.
So,
I can't count that high.
So when you have those blizzards up there, you've got, job security that you have stuff to do.
Yes, that's kind of a family joke around here, that I don't need to go sourcing on bad days because I can just go get 10 items out of the attic and go to town. Yeah, go to town listing.
That's kind of the way we are as sellers, is you want that little store stockpile built up so you can work from it. I mean, you just never know when you're not going to be able to get out. You may need it, so it's there if you want. When you want to list it, you're ready. So we talked a little bit about outsourcing. You don't really have anybody hired to do anything; just your grandkids help you as
not
needed.
At all. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And you probably don't want it that way. You probably just like whatever you can manage.
Exactly. Yeah.
I totally agree. Managing people is hard. It's very draining. If for these folks that want to build their business and hire a photographer and hire people to come in, especially into your home, because it's kind of invasive. And I'm just saying that because it's totally fine if people want to do that, but it's also completely fine if you don't want to. If you just want to do what you can do, manage it yourself, keep it manageable. I mean, not small, but just manageable, because when it gets too big, it's not fun anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have a goal with your eBay business? Or are you just enjoying it and just enjoying the ride right now?
I was last spring, I was goal-oriented in terms of getting more and building and keeping it going up, up, up. And now that Mom is with us, my goal is to just ride the tide, go with how much I can and cannot do, and that's just fine. I enjoy it just as much as I ever did. And if I can get it built up again for Christmas time and after, that's wonderful. But otherwise, I just enjoy it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I really commend you for juggling all the things you juggle with your, household and taking care of your mom and being there for your grandkids and sure you're being there for your husband and just, keeping it all going and doing some eBay when you can fit it in, which for us eBayers, there's never enough time for eBay. There's always more to do. I can shop, I can list, I can do this, I can take inventory, I can clean stuff, I can take pictures. So it's a never-ending job just because of the nature of the internet. It's 24/7, and there's always more to do. But you seem to have balanced everything really well, and you really love the business. I can tell you just really love doing it.
Well, thank you. Yes, I sure do love it. And as for balancing everything, no, there are plates spinning all the time, and every now and then one crashes down. But you just got to keep at it and keep trying to spin what you can.
Well, and that's life. Everybody has to juggle a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, nobody's life is perfect with no bumps in the road, and you just, you work on your business 8 hours a day and do this and that. It's all, it's like, a big watercolor painting. It's just all mixed together and you're always multitasking and figuring out how to do 3 things at a time and stuff like that. So, but I really enjoy your posts on the Money Making Mondays because of the types of items. So just, to wrap this up, what kind of advice would you give to a new seller in your phase of life, in your chapter of being retired baby boomer? What kind of advice would you give to those wanting to get started?
Well, I would say think back to what you loved as a child, and those are the things that people are looking for now. The toys that we played with, the clothes that we wore, anything that looks mod or pop or kitschy from your mom's kitchen, the avocado green even. Those are the things that will go good on eBay for you, and jump in. Whether it's 1 item or 10, jump right in.
And I love the baby boomers because they have all the stuff already. It's in their house, it's packed away, it's in closets and drawers and basements and attics. And most people I help get started, they can go off their own belongings, selling them for about 18 months, 12 to 18 months, because they just have so much. And then they see, oh, well, that's sold. Well, let me see if do I have more of that? And, you don't have to buy anything. The only thing you need to do if you are, semi-retired, retired, and in that age group is learn the eBay part, learn how to get it up for sale and how to ship it. And the rest is just going to happen because you have all the stuff.
That's right.
Okay, any final words?
Well, thank you for the interview. This has been fun. And keep watching Stay at Home Moms on Facebook, and keep watching the Making Money Monday sequence on Facebook as well. They're all great. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And so I have the link to Connie's store below, and you can check that out. She's on Facebook, so you can come to the group and ask her questions if you want to. But yes. She's got a diverse knowledge of all kind of stuff. So, on those days that your aches and pains are bothering you, just think, you've got wisdom up here that you can use for this business that a lot of the younger people don't have that. They don't have the life experiences that you have to remember, oh, this was in my mom's kitchen, or I had this when I was in 3rd grade or whatever. That's the benefit of the older age group, is the wisdom they can bring to this business.
Yeah,
so,
true. Thank
you for all your wise input on the group, and appreciate you joining us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Bye-bye.